let's talk about, go ahead. Because I think the bigger move is not necessarily that stuff. I think the bigger move for me in the last 3 months was definitely rocket buying Mr. Cooper.
Oh, yeah, this is correct. This is no one's talking about that.
That's the bigger move. And we've got something coming out to counter it, but explain, go ahead. So tell
no
people, Cyrus.
Yeah, no one's talking about this
I talk about it all the time. And now, Escaping the Drift, the show designed to get you from where you are to where you want to be. I'm John Gafford, and I have a knack for getting extraordinary achievers to drop their secrets to help you on a path to greatness. So stop drifting along, escape the drift, and it's time to start right now. Back again for another episode of, like it says in the opening, man, the podcast that gets you from where you are to where you want to be. And today in studio, one of the cool things about living in Vegas is there's a lot of conventions here. A lot of things happen, and a lot of your baller friends come rolling through and give you a shout last minute, and they say, hey, dude, about that podcast, I got 15 minutes in the next 30 minutes. You want to do it? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. So today, live in studio, man, we have one of my friends from Orange County that is a real estate baller. Just has done so much. Started his career early playing professional soccer and has gone on to just awesome things in the real estate industry. He's the CEO of a firm called the Keystone Team. And he does some really cool stuff, and he has a really great insight into the future of where real estate is heading. So if you are a real estate agent, or somebody you think you might get into real estate, or if you're just interested in the real estate business, today is something you're probably going to want to listen to. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. This is Cyrus Mohseni. Cyrus!
Hell yeah, dude. Appreciate
What's up,
you.
Man?
Dude, I'm stoked to be here. This is such a cool spot.
I know, dude. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you here. I do. I'll be back at my house in December for one day. That's it. One day next month. And that's it. Too cold for to be down there right now. I can't hang out there right now. But it's good. I'm glad you came in. So you came in for the big Zillow deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're bringing all the big swingers from around the country for that. And that's going on right now in Vegas, down in Fontainebleau. Or Fontainebleau.
Exactly.
Not Fontainebleau, Fontainebleau, whatever it is. So my thing, man, is let's talk a little bit about soccer first, right? Because I think that the reason I want to talk about it is because it's such a precursor to who you are. And that first time we met, we talked about it. I thought it was really interesting. So tell me about the soccer stuff.
Yeah, so actually here, I'm going to rewind a little bit more behind soccer because I think this is interesting. I think this is important to understand my whole story. I'm going to rewind to, 21 years from last week. Okay. You're like, why do you know 21 years? Because my grandma in 2004, my uncle in 2004, and my dad in 2005 all passed away.
Oh, wow.
So my mom's brother, October 29th, 2004, passed away at 28 years old. My mom's mom, my grandma, was 62, 28, and then my dad, October 29th, 2005, went into the hospital and passed away November 1st, 2005. And the reason that it's a big moment in my life, but the reason is my whole mindset shifted when this happened. My uncle was my favorite person in the world. To this day, it's like I talk to my wife about this. This is like the person that like I felt like unconditionally loved me more than anything, right? Like that was my uncle, how I felt with my uncle. And then my dad. So my two biggest male figures in my life gone. And my mom, I'm the last of 5 kids. My mom worked, but she never really had to work when my dad was around.
Yeah.
Then when my dad passed away, we lost everything. So my mom started working 6 jobs to keep the house over our head. Mm-hmm. So it was the first time in my life that I started thinking about other people. I was 11 years old. And it was the first time in my life that I started thinking about other people before myself. And I started thinking, how could I make my mom's life easier? How could I make sure that, instead of me complaining about getting out of bed, little things like that, I was just like, no, I got to do this because I don't want my mom's life to be harder because it's already so hard. And the only thing that took my mind off of everything was soccer, right? Everything that was going on in my life, I just wanted to play soccer. I wanted to do that because it was the only thing that took my mind off of what I was going through.
Yeah.
And so I was playing, I'd train before school, I'd go train, I'd walk to school, I'd train after school. And then I was like, I want to play club soccer. I was in like 6th grade. I want to play club soccer. So I go to play club soccer. I start calling. You'll appreciate this. I go online. I'm 11 years old. I go online, start researching club soccer teams, and I start calling these coaches, finding their phone numbers, calling these coaches. Hey,
you're already playing like rec soccer at this
I was playing
time.
AYSO.
Okay.
I was playing AYSO.
Got it.
Played All-Stars, okay? Big deal.
Got it. Okay, sure. Sure.
So I start calling these club coaches, and I'm like, hey, I want to play for your team. Like, I want to come play for your team. And they're like, okay, well, put your dad on the phone. I'm like, well, my dad's dead. Put your mom on the phone. Well, she's at work. Okay, well, have your mom call us later. Okay, cool. Over and over and over again until one person was like, okay, yeah, come to practice. This is what time we play. I like that you called me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, perfect. So then I'm like, how do I get to practice?
You're 11.
I'm 11 years old. So I call my friend. I'm like, hey, you want to try out for club? I got us a tryout.
Smart.
Tell your mom to bring us.
Mm-hmm.
So we go. I make this club team. And then like 6 months later, I get cut. And it was the worst thing that happened to me in my life. I was like, what is going on? Like, I just made this team. I was so happy. I was so stoked. It was like everything I wanted to do. And during that 6 months, I decided I wanted to play professional soccer. Mm-hmm. And the reason I decided I wanted to play professional soccer is because before that, I never really understood that you could just play professional soccer. I don't know what I thought, but I thought like you had to be like this gifted person, this like gift from God, like you're there and now you're playing pro.
Yeah.
And when I played for that team, that coach had said I played pro in Argentina. And it was like a guy I could touch. Yeah. I could feel him. I could see him. I'm like, this guy isn't that special. Like, why can't I do this? So I decided I was going to play professional soccer. And then like 2 months later, got cut from my club team. You know what I mean? And then, but I decided I was going to play professional soccer. So that's what I wanted to do. So then I did the same thing, called a bunch of clubs, went to a tryout, tried out, played for this team. I was I played goalkeeper. Just to kind of put in perspective, when I decided how good I was, when I decided I wanted to play pro, mm-hmm. is I played goalkeeper. I was on bronze team, which is the lowest level of club, and we lost every game 5-0.
And you were the goalkeeper.
And I was the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to play pro.
I'm going to do this. Yeah. Okay.
And so, but one thing that my mom, like my dad used to say all the time when I was younger, and my mom kept like really strong after my dad passed away, was you can do anything you put your mind to. Like my mom would always tell me that. Like I was like, I want to do this. She's like, you can do anything you put your mind to. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
Your dad always said that. And so I truly believe that. Like growing up, like I was like, if I just train hard enough, I could do it. Like what's the difference between me and that person? That person just trained harder.
Yeah, right.
So I made this thought process. I was just like, there's always someone out there getting better than you by working harder than you. I'm going to work harder than everybody else. And so that's what I did. So I just trained more. I went again before school, after school, after school, went to before practice. I went and found another coach. I just trained as much as possible. Mm-hmm. When I was 18 years old, 2 days after I graduated high school, I moved to Europe and I played professional soccer. I ended up playing in Switzerland. I ended up playing in Costa Rica. I ended up playing for Chivas USA, San Jose Earthquakes, and the MLS. Played for some of the biggest clubs in the world. And it was all from me just like realizing that you can do it if you just work.
Yeah, but that's so 11 years old, that's so unique.
Yeah, I think it's, again, and people told me this when I was younger. I remember specifically like people telling me like, well, now you're going to have to grow up. I remember being 11 years old and people saying that like when my dad passed away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And me being like, what are you talking about? Like, in my mind, it wasn't processing. Like, people would say like, well, you're not going to have the same childhood, blah, blah. I'm like, what do you mean? Like in my mind, it wasn't this something different. It was just, hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah. I'm
dealing with it and this is what I have to do. You know what I mean? But it's very true. When I was 11 years old, now I see my niece. She turns 9 in a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was basically this age.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
And she's got not a care in the world.
Correct.
Not a care in the world.
Not a care in the world. So now it's really interesting when I think about it now because I put myself like in her shoes you know? And so let me fast forward. It's very interesting because my niece and I are really close, like super close. That's like my girl. Her dad passed away 8 years ago from pancreatic cancer.
So the same thing, same deal.
So my sister had, it's 3 nephews and a niece. And so one of my nephews was my age when my dad passed away, you know, yada, yada. And like my niece was only 1. So like I've been, since she was a baby, she's with me. Yeah, she's with me. I take her to all her stuff. I coach. And so, but it makes me now that I think about it, it's like this weird, like, it's this weird thing that like I realize what it was. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, it's almost like, yes, it's obviously a tragedy that your wife lost her husband. That's a tragedy. And pancreatic cancer is terrible, but it's almost like the universe gave you the opportunity to pay it back.
Yeah.
For what your uncle did for you.
Yeah. It's kind of a trip.
You know what I mean?
It's like really
in a weird karmic kind of way, right?
100%. I was literally talking to someone about this earlier. I was like, because I have these different opportunities to do different things, and one of them involves me moving away from home for a little while, 6 months. And I'm like, I don't think that that's worth it to me. You could pay me you could pay me all the money in the world, but like, if I'm away from my family, that's the thing that matters the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's like, so I'm missing my nieces. Like, and by the way, I also realized have you ever seen that graph that like, it shows like time with your loved ones? No. It's a really interesting graph.
What is it?
So it's time with your loved ones. So it starts with like it's a bunch of different lines. So different colored lines. It's a line graph, right? And it like goes up where it's like time with your parents.
Yeah. And then it hits by the time you're 18, you spent 90-something% of the time you were your entire life.
And then it starts dropping. Yeah, exactly. It starts dropping down, and then it shoots up with your significant other and yada yada. All this stuff.
I have seen that graph.
That right there is like, when I saw it one time, and I talk about it all the time. I've only seen the freaking thing once. I can't find it again. I got to look for it.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that completely changed my perspective on life, because it's like, I know my niece, for instance, I have this much time with her.
Finite window.
Yeah. Like, why would I give up any time for that?
Yeah. I have a 17-year-old that's off to college next year.
It's crazy.
And he's sitting in the office back there working because I want him working here for that very reason, because I understand that once he leaves the house at 18, that will be the 95% of the time on earth that I will spend with him, and I get 5% rent for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I get that, because he's going to have his own family and his own thing, and I get that. Yeah, so I think about that all the time.
It's nuts.
Almost daily. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because when you have something like that that's such a tragedy with you that's happened, like, do you have the ability to be empathetic with people when they start talking about nonsense like adversity in their life? Like how could you, when you lose your father at 11, like, you know, you guys almost lose everything. Like when people want to start whining about, you know, oh, the leads are weak, or why, you know, why the world is against them. I mean, do you even have like,
I
that
think
must be hard.
Yeah, it's super hard. So it's pretty interesting with me, because like what I also realize is that every single person we walk by, I was in New York a couple weeks ago, and I was sitting there with my videographer. We're sitting there and we're just chilling, waiting for a taxi. And I go, you know what, Frank? You know what's crazy, bro? And he's like, what? I said, every one of these people that walks by, you know, there's like hundreds of people. We're just sitting there walking, driving by. I'm like, every one of them is, someone's having the best day of their life and someone's having the worst day of their life, and every one of them's dealing with something. And to me, that something might not mean as much as it means to them.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think that's an important, like thing that is important to remember, but like, no, 100%. Like, I truly believe if you want to do anything, you can do it if you truly put your mind to it.
Just an irrational belief in yourself to doing it.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny, dude, because I was on somebody else's podcast, because I'm promoting my book right now, which by the time you hear this will be out. Buy it everywhere. Escaping the Drift, everywhere books are sold. But I was talking about, my publisher called me, and when you publish a book through normal channels, you get reviews, right?
Yep.
Like, and they're like, not like reader reviews, but they're like reviews for bookstores that are buying books.
Yeah.
And my publisher calls me and goes, okay, we're getting a review tomorrow from Publishers Weekly, which is kind of a big deal. He goes, don't get too excited. They're really not kind normally to self-help books at all. They're just not kind. I said, wow, at this point, my publisher put this through a focus group, and it crushed the focus group, and everybody loved it, and it was great. And I'm like, I'm not worried about it. So it came out, and the review was not complimentary, right? And I know people are listening to this like, this dude's trying to sell books. Why is he telling us this? And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Stay with me, right? So I was kind of bummed about it. And I woke up the next day and I reread the review. And now keep in mind, everybody has their own point of view and their own lens from which they see the world. This was one singular person that read my book, and then they had an opinion on it based on their singular view of the world.
Yep.
And this was the sentence that made me love this bad review. Love it. Which was, this person wrote that my advice can come off as trite because I refuse to acknowledge the myriad systemic issues, and I present all problems as solvable. And I was like, you bet your ass I do. 1,000%. Because I've sat in this room 300 times with dudes that came here on a refugee boat from Vietnam that now own 1,000 doors. Yep. Guys that lost their father when they were 11. Their mom had to take 6 jobs to keep a roof over their head and went on to play pro soccer because they just decided 11 years old to do that.
Yep.
What about the systematic issues that myriad of issues should have held you back? Yeah, of course. That's 1,000% what I believe.
100%. This is the thing is like, I think that, and this goes to what you were saying is like, I think most of the people just want to make excuses. Like
it's easier.
It's way easier.
It's easier.
Way easier to say, I can't do it because of this.
Yeah.
Than to sit there and say, you know what? I'm going to go bang my head against the wall for 20 times before I figure out how to get through the wall.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go work my ass off to get there.
But the problem is most people can't ever get there because they don't want to have that radical honesty with themselves and figure out where they are. I talk about it all the time. It's like, think about like when you're on your phone and you got to go somewhere near the parking deck. Yeah. And you go to the map and you put the address in and you're waiting and it's spinning because the satellite can't find you. And like, you can't get direction. You know where you're trying to go, but you still can't get the directions there because it doesn't know where you are. And unless you're totally honest about where you are, and those are the people that say, not this outside force is why I'm not where I want to be, but what did I do to contribute
100%.
to that? What did I do? Like, where's my fault in all of this? And until you're willing to do that, man, you're just going to be stuck. Yeah. And that, I hate to say it, we're both in the real estate industry. That is a rampant part of what we do here.
Well, 100%. And that's with everything in life though, right? Like that's like, you know, in your relationship, in your personal relationships, in your business relationships, in your business in general, right? Like, it's like, I mean, I'll give an example. It's like your employees, right? Like you own a business, you own a company. It's like, you know, sometimes we can turn around and say, okay, hey, I don't understand why this person doesn't get it. They're stupid. They're this. Or I can turn around and say, okay, wait, did I give them the exact formula to be able to get that done? Yeah. Now, does that position specifically, right? Like, does that position require that? Does it require more critical thinking, so on and so forth? But then that person can turn around and say, they didn't give me that. Well, why didn't you create that and have the critical thinking to do so? Yeah. Right? So it goes both ways. And it's so interesting when you start taking like this extreme accountability.
Well, I think you can't take it personally, though, because I think you've also got to remember when dealing with other people, and I have to remind myself of this a lot, and maybe this sounds egotistical, I don't know, but you know, I have to remind myself, like, they're the main character in their movie. Like, I'm supporting actor or background noise at best in the movie of their life. They're the main character, right? So, yeah, the fact that they maybe didn't take exactly what I said or told them to heart, or you know, they needed to do that. You got to remember that people are going to do what they're going to do, and until they take responsibility for where they are, they just can't get there. And for me, you know, you talk about, especially in like real estate, or really in anything, man, you know, it's like, what makes somebody super successful? And it's honesty with where they are. It's absolute clarity of goal, knowing where they want to go. It's succinctness of plan and frequency of execution. Yep. And as long as you have that workflow, right? I don't care if it's trying to lose weight. I don't care if it's trying to win the spelling bee. I don't care if it's trying to sell houses. I don't care what it is. If you have that workflow, it's going to be really hard to not succeed. Yep. Really hard.
Well, I say the same thing. It's consistency plus discipline over time equals success. Yeah. Like, as long as you're consistent, as long as you're disciplined with your plan, and you do it over time, you will win.
Yeah.
The thing is most people want to win now, and they don't realize that like what you've built, what I've built, has taken years.
Yeah, it's a 16-year overnight success.
Because people only see what it is now. It's like this crazy thing. And it's like, and I love social media, right? Like I love social. I love like connecting. I love all of this. But it's like, this is the issue because social media gives us all this instant gratification. You know, it was funny. I felt like the old man in the room the other day when my nephew's like, dude, this takes forever to load. And I'm like, you don't know dial-up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I'm a little older than you, bro. So I'm of the school of like, if you wanted to watch cartoons, you had to catch them on Saturday morning, and that was it. If you didn't miss them, if you didn't catch them Saturday morning, you weren't watching cartoons for the week. And it's just the idea of that, and the idea of that whatever you want, you push a button, it shows up at your door within 24 hours. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yep.
And you're right. That instant gratification, people aren't willing to do the long, hard thing.
Yeah.
They're, in most cases, they're just not willing to do it because it's too slow.
But the consistent thing that you see with most successful people in anything in life is it's taken time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it takes time. It takes work.
Unless you win the lottery, and then those people wind up broke because it didn't take time.
Correct. Exactly.
Because there was no effort.
100%.
Because they didn't earn it.
It's because it goes up, and then it's like right out because they don't know how to deal with it.
I mean, you can probably go on eBay right now and buy a gold medal, but it's not going to mean anything because you didn't earn it.
100%.
Right? Well, let's shift gears, man. Let's talk about real estate. So, where do you think? I mean, what do you think the biggest changes in real estate is right now?
I mean,
where do you think we're headed? I mean, obviously, there's been such a debacle in the last. We'll talk about all of it. I mean, you're here with Zillow, but we'll talk about their little move.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Last week. They're getting slaughtered for that.
Zillow, I mean, you name the company, whatever the company is.
They just don't care.
Like I think the model that Zillow has is the future of real estate for the masses, for the agents. And I'll explain why.
Okay.
Because I think it's super important to understand. Guys like you and I can go create business by having conversations, by doing the work, by showing up. If you told me when I got in the business, I have to give up this huge percentage, let's say 40% right off the top of all my business that I get in.
Yeah.
Or I could go do an open house and not have to do that.
Yeah. You're going to go to the open house.
I'm going to go do the open house.
Yeah.
I built my business off of 4 hours of cold calling a day. So I called my first 2 years. This is all I did straight every single day like a madman. 4 hours of cold calling, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. 12 to 1, I did lunch / get ready for door knocking. 1 to 3, I door knocked. And then after that, I did client follow-up. And then every single week, I did 2 open houses. Like clockwork. Yeah. Now, that completely changed my life.
Well, dude, no, but you do that. Again, that's clarity of plan and frequency of execution.
Yep.
You do that. But honestly, right now, what percentage of agents that are licensed right now do you think are willing to do that?
No, I less than 10%.
10?
I'm
talking about the masses. We're talking about every licensed real estate agent. Half of them sold nothing.
Yeah.
In the last 12 months. Yeah, it's
true.
You can wipe them completely off the board. They just have a business card to say that they do something. I don't know why they pay the dues. Half of them sold nothing. So you got half.
It's probably less than 1%.
It's less than 1% of all agents nationwide will do that.
Yep.
And it's so funny. I have a couple of those people that work for us. I mean, we have a lot of great people here.
Yep.
I would venture to say that we have more 7-figure agents than any brokerage in Vegas. Period.
Yeah.
And I just know that based on our numbers. But I have a couple of people that, once you reach a certain point in this business, you have big dollars for marketing, and you can put a lot of things in a lot of people's hands and leverage a lot of dollars into other dollars. But when you're starting out, you don't have that. So you got to grind like that. Yep. And I have some people that do incredibly well that probably could turn on a giant money marketing machine, but still do business just like that.
Yeah.
100 calls a day, open house every day.
It works.
Every day.
It works.
Every day. Because it's just what they like to do.
Yeah. And so I think it's important to understand, like, there's those people that can and will always want to do that and will rather do that than this. But the masses of the agents, right? We say under 1% are willing to do that. So the masses of the agents would rather sit here on this couch, wait for a Zillow call to come in, answer it, And the script is very simple with Zillow calls.
Where are you? I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Literally, it's, hey, John, how's it going? This is Cyrus. When would you like to see the property?
Oh, it just makes me sad. It just makes me so sad.
That is the script. That is a script that we teach. Is a script.
He's so sad.
And all they do is then they go, we'd like to see it at 12:30 on Thursday. Okay, cool. Meet you at 12:30 on Thursday. They show up. They open the door. The goal is now
that makes you a chimp. It doesn't make you a professional. You're literally a chimp.
It depends.
A chimp could do that job.
I don't believe that.
What?
Completely. Now,
you don't think you could teach a chimp to open a lockbox? Seriously.
No. The reason is,
and then do like this in front of a fireplace. You don't think that's possible? Come on.
Look,
that's not being a professional. It's being a chimp.
Create value, create rapport, and then you close. Those are 3 steps to close a deal, right? So they still have to create rapport.
How do you create value for people when you jump every time they snap their fingers? How is that creating value?
So what
That's
I tell
an Uber driver.
So what I tell my agents is, look, when you're showing up to these houses, your job is to operate as if it's an open house. Your job is not to operate as if you're opening the door. You have to still show them why you're the best agent. You have to still explain what our process is. You have to still sit down with them. Now, again, I've realized this is a bunch of my agents closing a bunch of deals doing without this. And I'm like, you should utilize this for more business, but don't utilize it for all of your business.
Okay.
Right now, there are a bunch of companies that utilize it for only their business. It's like the guy I was telling you about earlier, right? Like
Siegfried and Roy, dude.
Correct.
Siegfried. What about Siegfried and Roy? This is what I compare Zillow and real estate agents to Siegfried and Roy all the single time. You know why?
Why?
Because they love that tiger. They fed that tiger. They fed it. Yep. They took care of that tiger. They got in show business with that tiger. And then what'd the tiger do? Ate Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah.
So you're just waiting around.
So you're
waiting around.
Correct. So
I have tiger to eat you.
So going back to this thought process of where real estate's going, right? Like, I have a theory that I think that, look, with tech, I'm sure we can both agree on there's going to be 30 to 40% more dropout from the industry.
Massive reduction,
over the next couple of years.
Reduction in workforce. Yes, the good people are going to get more of the business. The people that this is less and less is this becoming a business of, I have my license just in case my aunt's sister's friend wants to buy a house.
And this is, I think,
which is good.
Correct. This is a big piece of why the whole Compass and Anywhere acquisition happened, because Compass realizes, like, they're so agent heavy, like they have to acquire a bigger company because they're going to have a huge loss of agents, I think, just overall.
Yeah.
We see that. That's just what's going to happen. So they're going to buy into this side over here.
It's a lot of debt with Anywhere, though, man.
It's crazy. This is most people don't understand what that deal actually entails.
Yeah.
And when you start looking at it, it's
a heavy lift.
It's insane.
It's a heavy
It's insane.
lift.
And then also this is a whole different conversation, but to roll out the tech to that many agents is going to be nearly impossible when you're operating on 33. Like, people don't realize it's 33,000 agents with the tech that they have. To operate, to roll out tech to 330,000 agents, you don't understand what nightmare that's going to have.
I try to roll stuff out to 585 agents, and it can be
correct.
Like, still, like, we rolled out ReChat, you know, 5 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and did it really hard and really heavy. And to this day, people walk in and I'm like, "Hey, are you using ReChat?" Like, good agents, they're like, "What's ReChat?"
Yep.
I'm like, like, we sent you text. We've literally, I couldn't skywrite it over your house.
Dude, it's insane.
What we're doing.
And that's not even, that's just called agent. That's just agent adoption.
Yeah.
Now, what if all your agents adopt it and ReChat wasn't ready for that much adoption?
You broke the bandwidth, snapped it. Yeah, that's a good point.
This is a whole different thing that I don't think anyone's talking about yet, right? And so this is a whole different deal. But my point is that I think that where we're going with the real estate industry is you're going to see this real estate concierge. It's not going to be a real estate agent anymore. That real estate concierge is going to probably have their hands in making sure that, okay, hey, you got the right property, you got the paperwork done, but you also, here's your mortgage over here, here's your title over here, and they're probably going to get pieces.
That's already what we do.
Correct, but they're probably going to get smaller pieces of everything around it.
But RESPA's not going to really allow that. Because you cannot pay real estate agents based on title or mortgage. You can't do that per deal. You can't do it. You can't do that.
Unless the real estate professional gets licensed as a LO.
As an LO, or it's a bank and that it can just hire you.
Yeah.
Because banks can just hire employees.
Yeah. So it'll be, I think that the industry's, the job of a real estate agent is going to become even more, with tech, is going to be less hands-on. So they're going to be doing more of the transaction.
Yeah, I think that for me, I think that deal making is becoming a lost art in our business.
Oh, 100%.
And it's funny when I talk to a client and I tell a story during my listing presentation. I'll tell you what it is. When people are like, "Oh, what's different about you than this other guy?" If they're talking about multiple people, I tell a story. I tell this story. I say, and it's stories in my book, and I go, "Listen, when I was a kid, when I was in 8th grade." I wrote a check that my mouth that my body wasn't willing to cash, right? It's a mouthy kid, and this guy ended up turning and wanted to get in a fist fight. And I was not in a position, I thought so, to get in a fist fight with this guy. And as a result, all of my good friends growing up ostracized me my whole 8th grade year. And it was really hard on me.
Yeah,
it screwed
it's
me
super
up.
hard.
And it was like hardcore bullying that whole year. And it turned me into a people pleaser. And I realized this became a weakness in my 20s, right?
Yeah.
It was I was always a people pleaser, would say whatever to please people. But what I realized was I kind of flipped that into a little bit different. And I said, my EQ is through the roof. I know exactly when I have people. I know exactly when I'm losing people. I know exactly how far I can push people and exactly when to pull back.
Yeah.
That weakness, I'm the best deal maker that will ever sit at a table with you.
Yep.
I know exactly how to make a deal and how to get it closed. And that is an art that is being lost.
100%.
I think that part of that is because of $1 million listing. These guys get on the phone and, they watch that show and they saw those guys yell at each other on the phone for the drama of the show. And they think this is how real estate gets done. And it's like, dude, I'm trying to help you get it with your client, get this finished. I'm trying to get this across the finish line so we can both make money here. And it's just crazy. And it's become almost like if you send an aggressive offer, a house been on the market for a long time, you send an aggressive offer, the other agent wants to respond to you like they're a Civil War general. It's
insane.
I am deeply offended by the ludicrousness of this offer. I will not be presenting this to my client as they will be most upset with my ingenuity. It's like, what are you talking about, dude?
Pretty good accent.
It's solid Civil War general right there. I'm dude, present the offer. So, I think the responsibility of that lies within the people that run our companies.
Yeah.
And I think everybody is, I think we really try to balance that here, which is yes, we want you to have the best tech. We want you to do things, and we're building AI with all of that stuff to help you. But at the same time, you still got to understand the people side of the business, because that's what people are losing.
Yep.
I think the fastest in this.
Yeah.
Everything, it's fast. Just like you said, send me the offer, send me this. Okay, no, there's no context to it. Everybody wants to text.
Yeah. This pisses me off.
Oh, God. There's no context to it.
Yeah, correct.
I love that Key and Peele
sketch. It's not negotiating.
I love the Key and Peele sketch where he's like, do you even want to go anymore? And he's like, oh, do you want to go anymore? That's thoughtful. And he's like, and they get arguing, no context. So, yeah. So how do you think, do you think that the big players are falling behind there, or?
I think, I think that big players is in Compass and Anywhere.
Yeah,
anywhere. I think they're definitely falling behind. You talk about the debt. You talk about what the company, Anywhere has to make some sort of move in order to continue their, and, again, people will look at me and think I'm crazy because I don't operate a company like Anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. But if you just look at the company as Anywhere and you look at their financials and you look at the debt that they had, and you look at, it's horrible. Right? So what do? They say, hey, what's a great thing? Let's get rid of our debt. And Compass came around and said, we'll take all your debt, and we'll take more debt to take your debt.
Yeah.
Which is insane, right?
Quite the bet.
Which is exactly. But I think they have to make that bet because strategically, right, they need that market share where it is right now in order to push the agenda that they need.
Well, that's what I say. I think Refkin did it really just so he could muscle Zillow on the
he needs
or muscle the NAR on clear cooperation.
Yeah, Which is
if you're listening to this, you don't know what that is, and you're not in real estate. So we have a deal. If you're a member of the board, and we have a rule as being a realtor, which says that if we have a listing, it has to go in the MLS within like 24 hours.
Yeah.
And has to be syndicated everywhere, including Zillow. Well, Robert Refkin, who is the CEO of Compass that we're talking about, kind of is at war with Zillow because he wants to be able to do office exclusive listings where they're not feeding to Zillow.
Yeah.
And of course, Zillow's business model 100% is dependent on getting everyone's listings.
Yeah.
And so now Refkin is, with the purchase of Anywhere, now I think, what is it, like 62% or something they control of the entire market? Is that right? Is that the number I heard?
I think it's a little less, but yes,
okay, but
let's say it's 62%.
Yeah, but it's definitely beyond. It's beyond.
It's huge.
Massive. It's massive.
Yeah.
So now they control that much of the listings, and it puts a lot of pressure on Zillow to do that. So let's talk about. Go ahead. Because I think the bigger move is not necessarily that stuff. I think the bigger move for me in the last 3 months was definitely rocket buying Mr. Cooper.
Oh yeah, this is correct. This is no one's talking about that.
That's the bigger move, and we've got something coming out to counter it. But explain. Go ahead. So
no one's
Cyrus.
Yeah, no one's talking about this.
I talk
deal,
about it all the time.
Rocket buying Mr. Cooper, like this and Redfin
Up funnel.
Do you understand what that does? Like
very well, I understand.
This is insane when you talk about they're controlling the transaction there.
Mm-hmm. It's a closed loop system from beginning to end now.
Yeah.
So for those of you, again, that don't know what we're talking about.
Which is way scarier than Zillow to me.
Because Zillow's super app has never really gotten to where they are.
Yeah.
Although the move with Follow Up Boss, and we'll talk about that in a second because that's insanity last week. But so Rocket bought Redfin, which is an online search portal, second busiest trafficked, I think, behind Zillow. And they did that because they want to get up funnel. Traditionally, mortgage people are dependent on real estate agents to refer them the business because people start by looking at houses and they start with a real estate agent. Now, Zillow or Rocket Mortgage figures they can get up funnel because now when you're looking at property, they can put the mortgage people right on you. So now what they've done is they've gone out and bought Mr. Cooper, which is the third largest mortgage service in the United States. And why is that important? Well, it used to you get a piece of mail every month that says, here's your mortgage statement, here's your escrow account, here's all your stuff, and here's where your payment goes. Now most of that is digital.
Yep.
So because now they own this digital thing in your inbox, now what's going to start to see, and you'll start to see it very soon, is your Mr. Cooper statement isn't just going to say, here's your escrow account. It's going to say, hey, by the way, here's some houses that sold around you. Here's what we think your estimated value is. Here's the equity amount you have if you wanted to sell. Here's what you could get if you refied. Click this button, and here's all of the stuff. So it's going to become this portal for homeowners every month to look at. And then now they figure if you are even thinking about something, you'll just stay in their ecosystem because when you click one of those buttons, you go right back to them.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
Think about the data that they have. They know exactly what's happening, when it's happening, how to hit you. You're late on your mortgage. Hey, here's a solution. I mean, it's a lot of.
It is. And people think that, it's not a big deal. You know, for us, what we've done is we've partnered with a company that's building us a white label product that we can go out with that is going to create a similar homeowner hub for people, but on something I thought was really, really smart and much more practical, which is you've got appliances that you're like, your hot water heater is going to break.
Yeah.
Your ice maker is going to break. Something's going to happen in your house. So this creates a hub within your house and it's powered by AI, has 90,000 different appliances from hot water heaters to HVAC to everything that you could go wrong with your house. And all you got to do is take a picture of whatever's happening in your house and it will pull up the user's manual, the warranty information. It'll pull up the troubleshooting for whatever you have. Yeah. And then if you can't figure it out, it's got, these are the 3 people that in your area that are approved to work on that thing. So it solves the problem. And also included on that hub is, hey, here's some stuff that's sold around your house. You can also set it up to tell you when to change the smoke batteries and then change the filters. But it's things you're actually going to use and it'll track all that stuff in one place, kind of like a Carfax for your house. So you have all of that warranty information, all that stuff. And so we're creating a hub to put people in there. But now, as many people we put in, every time if your freezer breaks and I was your agent, now I'm calling you up like, hey, what happened to the freezer? It's a touch point. So now I'm continuing to stay involved in your life. And the reason this is happening with these closed loop systems is because notoriously realtors are terrible at staying in touch with their clients.
Oh, they're the worst.
80% of people don't use the same realtor twice. Yep. It's insane how terrible they are. And what do they send? They send this stupid Thanksgiving cards and turkey.
Here's some recipes.
Here's a pot pie recipe or some garbage, right? So by creating something of value that works is going to be huge. I think that's a huge change. And I think if you don't move now. Like, I think you're going to see Zillow counter that. They already are starting by trying to get everybody in America to claim their house on Zillow.
Yeah.
Same idea. So now you give them your data, they can market to you.
Well, and so this is the thing is like now we take that a step further with where AI is going. And this is why I think you're going to see a huge fall off of agents, right? Is because of this technology, because of this.
Yeah.
It's not because that exists, meaning that technology exists, meaning this portal that you're building, this AI. But now take that portal, and now when they do click it, now as an agent, you don't respond.
Yeah.
But your AI sends a message, says, hey, what happened with the freezer?
Yeah.
Now has a whole conversation from you, has a whole conversation, and then they say, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And you say, hey, do you want an update on your home value? Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, sure. Now your AI sends a CMA already done, blah, 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 and sets and books the appointment online.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like that exists.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's going to make agents like you and I way more productive. So I will take more market share than the agents that don't utilize the technology.
Well, I will say this about that. It has got to only be a matter of time. The clock has got to be ticking on AI outbound calling.
Oh.
The clock has got to be ticking on that. Like, there's no way the government's not going to regulate that. Because I don't know anybody that gets that, hi, is this John? Yeah, okay, no, I hate this. I hate it.
I actually, earlier today, so, a big reason, everyone's always like, you go to every conference, but I speak at a lot of the conferences.
Yeah.
I do, I do podcasts, I interview people, yada, yada. I run masterminds when I'm there. Why I really go is because I want to meet the people that are building the next tech as soon as possible.
Well, it's like Inman. That Startup Alley is the only place I ever go at Inman.
Literally.
I want to walk down Startup Alley. It's all I care about.
Literally.
That's it.
And
the little table, not the big booth. The little
ones.
I want the little table.
And I want to see what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? I want to connect with maybe one or two people. I mean, like us. We connected at Inman, right?
Yeah.
And I want to connect with one or two people, build a good relationship, build something that, and then I want to see what's coming. I sat down with the tech company earlier. You would not be able to tell that was an AI.
See, but here's the problem.
Insane.
I'm telling you, here's the problem.
Insane.
One of my good friends is a change agent for major corporations. He flies around the world when they're doing a major thing. He's like the Bobs from Office Space who doesn't really fire people, but he's just there to implement change.
Yeah.
And he said all of these companies, here's one of the problems, right? All of these companies are implementing AI at the lowest level hanging jobs, which a lot of places are the most customer facing. It's where you touch your customer the most. That's what's being replaced. And the problem is with AI starts with logic and is trying to get to reason.
Yep.
Or trying to get to emotion. We as humans start with emotion and then we try to get to logic. So there's this disconnect in the conversation. And he goes, the best way I can explain it is it's like Spock talking to Kirk.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of tell that it's there. And there was the drop-offs, the pauses, it's just not quite there.
Yeah.
Not saying it won't get there because it absolutely will. But I think, again, that's the difference. For example, for my team that works for me, and we generate a lot of leads through Google and just online in general through SEO and everything else. And we had our smart plans set up to like text and power and do all that stuff. And the TCP compliance changes with, texting anymore. The first text has got that opt out and we're not texting anymore at all. We're just making calls. And I'm telling you, my team is more successful now making calls and having better conversations with people. Because I think, anytime somebody starts looking for a house, they sign up on like 5 different websites.
Yeah, exactly.
And because I think they're getting pounded with AI bots, when they get a real person, it's refreshing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But again, who's willing to do 4 hours of cold calling and sit in an open house and go door knock for 3 hours?
Correct. I don't believe that AI will ever take my job.
No.
I believe that I will take other people's jobs while utilizing AI. I think that's the most important piece.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Like I don't believe that AI is going to be like, oh, now I don't. I just know I'm going to be way more productive than most agents, so I'm just going to take on 100 clients instead of 10.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the important piece to know. And so, like, it goes back to what we were talking about is like, who's implementing it and utilizing it. And like, are you studying it? Do you understand it? And if you don't, like, you're way behind already.
Well, right now is the greatest gold rush in real estate.
Gosh.
Hang on a second. The greatest gold rush in like 10 years and nobody's talking about it, which is this. Nobody's talking about this and there's a gold rush going on. The agents in the know are doing well. And look, if you listen to this podcast, you deserve to know because you're listening to me, which is great. So, right, people don't realize this. Google search is down 30%. It's off 30% in a year, 12 months. Where did that 30% of Google search go? It's all in ChatGPT and OpenAI. People think that ChatGPT is like the end all be all. Like if it says, hey man, call Bob, I got to call Bob, right?
Yep.
They believe that. So if you understand how to, like SEO is dead, you need to be AEO. You need to understand how to feed the robots. So when somebody goes in and has a conversation with them about who is the best listing agent in Orange County, California, your name gets spit out because it is not extrapolating that information from any data set that makes sense.
Nope.
There is no like, let me look at all of the data, analyze the data sets that I'm getting fed from Zillow, who is now hooked to OpenAI. Yeah. That's not how this works. This is being fed from places like Reddit. It's being fed from blogs on your individual website. And the more stuff that you have that is heavy AI keyword dense, I use the word AI keyword dense, meaning it's built for conversational AI. So when you ask a very specific question in plain English, are you built for that? You have the opportunity because I test a lot. Luckily, we have established a beachhead that I'm very proud of. So you start throwing around luxury realtors in Henderson, I'm always at the top.
Yeah.
Right? And I think I've established that beachhead, and we fight very hard to protect it. But I think that you have there's some names that pop up in different markets or different neighborhoods. I've never heard of these people. I don't know who these people are. And I know they don't have any sales. I could go and court it and pull them up, and I know they don't do any business, but yet there they are.
Yep.
Because they're feeding the machines from the back end. And again, people still think this is the end all be all.
Which is 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
This is my point, is like, if you understand how to utilize AI and you utilize it to the right way, like, you'll absolutely crush.
Yeah.
Because now, again, that's what people are doing, is people are going into ChatGPT and saying, who's the best agent in this area? Yeah. Hey, I need a real estate, or hey, I need some advice on buying a house. What's the process? And then if you set it up the right way, you set your blog posts up, you set your stuff on. It
spits you out.
It's going to.
You're the source.
And then all of a sudden, who are they? When they click the thing, it goes to you.
Yeah, we've gotten several. We're already getting lots of listings from people that, how'd you find us? I asked ChatGPT. That's why we're here.
So sick.
Because you asked that, right? So, yeah, times, man, they are a-changing.
It's so cool.
Dude, if you're an agent out in today's world, what's the number one thing you're doing right now? Are you, because you can swing the pendulum either way.
Yeah.
Because blunt force, like you said, still works. Pounding 100%. Going to knock on the doors over here. Trying to get super techie. I mean, what are you doing?
I think that, so the reason I did so well in the business is not just from the blunt force, but because I brought like a lot of the new school stuff in, right? Like I brought the tech. I wanted the right tech behind it. I think that the most successful agents that I see, and what I would say for an agent to do right now, is you should be listening to every single podcast and book and any information on AI that you can at any given moment, not just about real estate AI, not just from the big real estate coach, right? But from actual, AI developers, listening and watching OpenAI stuff and like really studying this and becoming a student of this, because this is what our future is in general. Our kids, that's what they're going to operate on. I mean, even when you open your iPhone now, you click the button and it freaking opens a image so that you take a picture and ask ChatGPT what it is.
Yeah.
This is our world.
Yeah.
We're going to have, I think everybody in the next 2 years, 3 years is going to have listening devices on them at any given moment.
Bro, did you see the Neo bot came out? You see that thing?
Yes.
I mean, literally, you can have a slave in your house now for $500 a month.
Correct.
It'll do all your work.
Yeah. So this is my point, right? Like,
we're here.
So we're going to have, everyone's going to have listening devices on them.
Yeah.
It's going to, I think that what's going to end up happening is we're going to have all these listening devices on us. We're going to be having conversations. It's going to be taking notes. It's going to tell me what to do, how to do it. It's going to optimize my meals. It's going to order my meals for me. This is where our world is going.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't truly understand it, or you're going to fight it, you're going to fall behind.
Yeah.
So I think this is very important. But I do really, truly believe that it's about the basics in this industry. Like, I don't think that, I think you could get all fancy and, social media this and AI this. But I think that if you don't know and understand how to do the basics, you'll never do extremely well in this business, right? And, the cold calling got me business, but the cold calling did more than getting me business. It taught me how to talk in the business.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you don't like cold calling because you're like, I don't get anything, well, that's probably because you're not good at it. So you need to do more of it.
Yeah.
And as you do more of it, you're going to get better at it. So use it as training, right? Like as an athlete, as a professional athlete, you show up to training every day and you have an off season and you still train. And then you go into your season and you're training 6 days a week to have one game for 90 minutes as a soccer player.
Yeah.
Right? And most soccer players don't play 90 minutes. Maybe you got 30 minutes. So you trained all week, 2 hours a day minimum, to go play 30 minutes on the weekend.
That was it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And so this is business. Like, if you're not training on a daily basis, then how do you expect to win in the games? Well, how do you expect to get more minutes? How do you expect to go from 30 to 40 minutes to 90 minutes? You know what I mean?
It's one of the things I always preach is there's no such thing as a bad appointment in real estate.
No.
Like, I love agents that get on the phone or whatever, they're calling leads or cold calling, whatever they're doing, and they're trying to sift so hard to that person that wants to buy a house today, that has perfect credit, that wants to qualify. Well, dude, if you only sat in front of those people, how many people you sit in front of a month? Like,
exactly.
Like, I don't care if you have a 500 credit score. I want to meet with you because at least then I can do my presentation. I'm sharpening my skills. At the end of it, I go, look, I don't care if you can buy a house today, but if it's a dream of yours, we're going to work with you and get this fixed, and we're going to accomplish this dream. And in the meantime, if you know anybody, refer me.
100%.
And they love you because you treat them with respect. It's fine, but it gets you better, right?
Yep.
So, take as many appointments as you can. That's why open houses are a great place to do that, because at least you're face-to-face with people.
Yeah.
And that ability, I'm telling you, in this new age, like I tell my kids this all the time, the ability to look and connect with other people and understand what they're doing is going to be such a lost cause, because everybody's walking around right now with their phone in front of their face.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see it. I mean, probably with, your son's age and like this age, probably 23 and under, right? Where COVID was really a big thing during their, like, these kids don't talk to each other anymore.
Number on them. Yeah,
like they don't talk to each other. They're sitting here and texting each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like these, if you want to get in this business, especially like being a young agent getting into this business, like you're going to have to learn how to have conversations with people, how to put yourself out there, how to get rejected over and over and over and over again. Yeah. Right. And the best way to do that is by doing the basics, is by cold calling, freaking door knocking and open houses. Like, just get as many at bats as you can.
But I think it's also, like, again, I said earlier, my superpower is being able to read the room.
Yeah.
And it is, I mean, how many times have you been in a room with people and they're telling some long, drawn out, stupid story and everybody at the table, here's a little tip for you people. This is how you know if you're telling a terrible story. If everybody at the table just starts going, that's crazy. Yeah. If anybody ever says that's crazy to me, I just stop mid-sentence and I'm done talking about whatever I was talking about. Because everybody's like, that's crazy. Yeah, they're bored. All right. They're bored. That is new human language for I am bored, stop talking. So just do that. But learn how to read the room. Learn body language. Like, read Chris Voss's stuff. Understand how to, like, pick up on those subtle cues that let you know how you're impacting somebody in that moment.
Yep.
Because that's where the real sales is happening. That's where the real relationship building is happening. That's where the real rapport is happening.
100%.
Yeah, the script can be as good as you want, but if you're not connected with them on that level, you're not getting there.
It's not going to work.
Not going to work. Well, dude, if they want to find you, how do they find you?
Best way to find me, Instagram. It's at Cyrus Andre, CyrusAndre. Best way to find me, connect with me, message me, so on and so forth.
Cool. Well, brother, I appreciate you coming in, man.
I appreciate
Most
you.
welcome every time you're here.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right, well, listen, if you listen to that, the world is changing. Look, even if you're not in real estate, the world's changing. Keep your eyes up, learn as much as you can, stay focused, keep control of your life. We'll see you next time. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us for another episode of Escaping the Drift. Hope you got a bunch out of it, or at least as much as I did out of it. Anyway, if you want to learn more about the show, you can always go over to escapingthedrift.com. You can join our mailing list. But do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind, throw up that 5-star review, give us a share, do something, man. We're here for you. Hopefully you'll be here for us. But anyway, in the meantime, we will see you at the next episode.